Hello, everyone. This is the third episode of the Offshoring Content Podcast, and today we have another special guest. He's Ryan Shrestha. Ryan, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Sushil. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Um, and I'm very happy to be here to share some of my experience, knowledge with an inspiring guy like you. You know, a young person who just started his business a couple of years ago, and with so much bigger dream to expand and capture customers from all over the world. I think you are in the right path, and something like you really inspired me.
Thank you very much. You were probably, living in Australia, working there, and it's an inspiration for a lot of Nepali youth back in home as well, and also that you have been working not just in Australia but also working with people outside of Australia, so majorly focused in Nepal, and trying to be a bridge between the two. That's why I thought that your voice will be heard more by people, and make that connection between the first world and the third world when it opportunities and requirements there. So, Ryan, I think I should start first with you know letting the audience know who you are and what have you been doing, where you are engaged. So I think we'll start there first.
Sure, no worries. Sure. Just a slight correction. I'm now an Australian citizen, not a Nepalese citizen anymore for Yasin, but I still have a lot of love and respect for Nepal. I've spent more time in Australia than in Nepal in my lifetime because I came to Australia when I was 19 years old, straight after high school, for further studies. I did my bachelor's degree in marketing, and then I did my master's, which is MBA in finance and IT. Um, that was like when I finished my master's, I think it was like 2000, not even 2000, 1998 or 99, I guess. So it's been a very long time. Maybe you weren't even born then, right?
No, I think I was maybe 6, 7 years old.
Oh, like, you're right. So after my studies, I got a job with an Australian company. I worked as operations manager, and I was sent to India to set up some of the businesses there. And I was in India for a while. Um, I had a fantastic time there, but I was recently married then, and my wife wanted to come to Australia, and also I thought, the opportunity in India at that time wasn't that good. It wasn't booming as nowadays. So I decided to come back to Australia, and I worked for some other Australian companies for a few years. But I always had the desire to do some business on my own, and that's why I thought, um, start a business, but I wasn't sure what to do. Uh, but I realized that there was a gap in the market when it comes to um, helping migrants like myself get job in the corporate sector, because most of the migrants were actually, working in some odd jobs, like blue collar jobs. It was very hard to get into the corporate sector because they were kind of disabled in that area, because of lack of contacts, communication skills, and also how to go about applying for jobs in corporate sector, right? So, and I was facing the same problem, even though I had some experience by then. So I thought, why don't I do this business myself? I went to a few interviews, I met some recruitment consultants, and I thought the job they do is very easy. It's like just matchmaking. You just bring two partners together. You help the candidate get a job. At the same time, you help the company solve their business problems. By hiring the right person, right? And then I started this business, Money and Work. So I have been running this business for almost 18 years now, right? So it's been a long time. As running a business is not easy. It's a roller coaster ride. There's ups and downs. You have to manage both the macroeconomic factors, and these macroeconomic factors are not within your control. There's change in supply and demand, economic situations. However, I've been able to survive and do well. So far, I've helped more than 6,000 graduates in jobs and receive a study. So I do placements mainly in the areas of accounting, IT, engineering, and business. And one of the reasons why I've been able to survive and prosper is because, I had a back office in Nepal, so that really helped me to um, keep my costs under control, right? So at that time, 12, 13 years ago, outsourcing wasn't that popular. People were doing outsourcing, but it was only the large organizations that were able to outsource overseas, mainly to India. And in Nepal, it was very challenging because there wasn't good infrastructure in place. First of all, the main problem was visibility. There was load shedding going on all the time, and we had to buy a huge generator. It was like a site of Union Wasina almost electricity. And even when you have a generator, sometimes you can't buy diesel, and then you can't even run the generator. So it was very, very difficult in those days. But still, the cost was very low then. It was cheaper, even if the staff didn't work over there, you would absorb the cost, So that was that effective. So that's why, I did have the benefit. And also because I'm of Nepalese background, I have that benefit of, having knowledge of both Australian work culture and the Nepalese work culture.
And you have unpacked um, the biggest things about your business, and personally, I've like to dive into the opportunity, the business opportunity that you found, or the problems that the migrant workers were facing. Because I also see, like, in my own circle, on our relatives or friends of friends of friends, who have a lot of experience in Nepal, have worked in corporate jobs, have their degrees, but when they move to Australia, US, or UK, the first thing they start is, majorly as a help, just as a helping in department stores or other gadget store. They do not get jobs that they're capable of. In the field of their own study, in the field of their own experience, their work profile back here in Nepal. And so what you do is for the migrant workers, those that have arrived in Australia with all those experiences, all those degrees, and what have been facing lack of opportunities and having to do menial jobs, you get them connected with jobs that are in their own career path, in line with their work, in line with their education rights.
Yes, Sushil. I help people from different backgrounds, skilled migrants, students, even graduates, and professionals as well. But one of the unique things about my business has been that we give a fair go to everyone. We do not discriminate, and we vouch for our candidates. One of the reasons why these people, like the emerging professionals who don't have much experience and the skilled migrants who don't have local experience, have difficulty getting a job in their field of expertise, is because the employers don't want to take the risk on them. There's a high risk involved when hiring people they don't know, right? But when it comes to reality, these people are highly talented, very, very hardworking. I call them the people with PhD, not the doctorate PhD, but PhD means that they're all in terms of knowledge. They have limited knowledge, but they're willing to learn, and the H stands for they are hungry to succeed, because when you are a migrant, or someone who's just coming out of university, you got so many needs. You want to buy a new car, you want to buy a house, you want to have a family. So you are hungry to succeed, you're hungry to make more money, right? And then D stands for driven. Uh, they're highly driven. Like they're the people who really want to work.
Right.
In Australia, there are so many people who don't want to work. They just want to go to work to make money, but they really don't want to work. So these candidates, they have PhD, but often the employers didn't know about it. And then I started educating the employers about their value, and they decided to give them a try. And to encourage their trial, I develop programs where they can try before they hire. It's like try before you buy. You try someone before you hire. You can take them out as interns, you can take them as contract workers, try them out for a few months. If you like them, then make them permanent. And this is how I solve the business problem, right? And that's how I've been able to help quite a few people so far. And things are changing now. Australia is becoming very multicultural. Like people who are at a lower level have already climbed up the ladder, and they're now in this area hiring positions as well. Like some of them are finance controllers, finance managers, project managers in engineering firms. So when we have people of our own kind in those higher positions, it's easy to convince them to hire people of our background. So right now, not like before.
I even when I looked at Australian job boards, and they prefer of people with local experience, and that can be a very vicious cycle, because if you do not have an opportunity, you'll never get proper jobs, and if you do not create a local experience, then you do not get better opportunity. Your work there is to break that cycle and help connect immigrant workers who are skilled, and also get them into that motion of getting them into a career trajectory that will see them in a few years in line with Australian counterparts, and they get promoted and they go to higher levels in their work. So I think that's a very good thing that you are doing. And now I want to segue into your other thing, that like the connecting workforce with Australian businesses in Australia is your work. But when we are talking about your operations, you talk about utilizing back office, training of back office in Nepal. So did you do that from day one? So did you outsource your work for yourself from day one?
No, Sushil, actually, when I started business, as I said earlier, outsourcing was mainly done by large organizations only. Small businesses didn't have the technology like these days, or the resources to do outsourcing, or they didn't have the connection, in countries like Nepal or India, because Philippines was very popular for outsourcing. They already had experience to make these things happen, right? Whereas when it comes to Nepal, because of lack of infrastructure, outsourcing wasn't common, right? And I also didn't outsourcing in the beginning. It was after 4 5 years of being in the business, I started having back office there, because luckily, I had a friend. His name is Shmuel. He was already doing similar business to mine over there. So I just asked him, like, because what you do and I do is very similar. The only difference is you do it in Nepal, I do it in Australia. But then with some of the things I do here, done by your team in Nepal, and that's how the outsourcing part started. Okay. It's, I'm not even calling it outsourcing. It's more like business extension. So you have a business in Australia, you're just having some staff in mind who works with your staff members in Australia, because
So you feel just your core business is still in Australia, but if you want some help with some part of your work, which if you are supposed to Nepal or some other country, then you would work with that. So it's not that you send all your work everything outside of Australia, but so far that would be that will make it more efficient and cost effective, but also not hinder your work there in Australia.
Exactly. And that's the model I suggest to all of my clients as well. Because these days I'm promoting Nepal to many of my clients,
Right.
so that I can be that bridge to connect them to people like you who are in this business,
Right.
so that they can send their task to Nepal to get it done at a cheaper, a more cost-effective manner. So what I tell them is that if you really want to send jobs overseas,
Right.
gain efficiency and cost effectiveness, it's not wise to send everything outside, because uh, they are your team members, but still they are overseas,
Right.
You can't have full control there, what if there's a civil war break out in that country, or if let's say, for example, in the case of Australia and Nepal, I don't think this will happen, but maybe if there's a war between Nepal and Australia,
Right.
your business will be like paralyzed, So that's why, and also to make any business function successful, um, you gotta give good leadership. There has to be good supervision, So the project management part or the quality assurance part still has to be in Australia.
Right.
Like, for example, if you're outsourcing accounting function, as you know, as a qualified accountant yourself, there are different levels, Like, for example, at the entry level, it's mainly bookkeeping,
Right.
and then after bookkeeping, you have like an accountant,
Right.
Or graduate accountant, and then you have accountant, and then you have a tax consultant.
Right.
So it's always good if you can start with outsourcing of your bookkeeping. So in the bookkeeping level, it's mainly administrative tasks. It's 60% actually, like you do accounts payables, receivables, bank reconciliation.
Right.
Like some basic reporting.
So what I get from what you're saying is that you suggest so when you are starting out outsourcing your work in Nepal or some other countries, first you should wet your feet, right? Just start with your small tasks there, and then if you can build trust both ways, then you can send in more work, and the major administrative part will remain in Australia. But
Yes.
but first start with maybe 1 or 2 hires, small work, and build trust within your organization with the team, and then you can, with experience, the team also gets experience and they get better, and then the trust is also built, and so you can maybe also outsource more of what you do, right?
Sure. That's exactly what I meant, actually. Like, it's always better to not let your staff who's doing bookkeeping to deal with your clients straight away. I'm talking about if are working with accounting firms, because Australian accounting firms they charge very high fees to the client. For example, to do a taxation for one business a year, or for to do the annual submission, they charge about $10,000-$12,000, right? So the clients demand quality, they demand good service, so if they are being contacted by the outsourced staff overseas and they give some wrong information, or it causes some problem which requires damage control, you might lose that client, So it's been risky for the business as well, right? So that's why it's best to outsource the administrative task, but leave the consulting part to Australia. That's what I suggest. However, these days things are changing. As your team becomes more experienced, you can provide them with lots of training. And because a lot of things are cloud based, and there's so much free training available online these days on YouTube and all. It doesn't matter whether you are in Australia or Nepal, you can train that staff in terms of Australian tax laws, accounting concepts,
Right.
as if they were in Australia. It's very much possible, right? And and the people in Nepal, they're very hardworking, and also if they're given the proper training, uh,
Right.
they can do job at higher level as well. I'm not saying that they can always do bookkeeping. They can also go up to maybe an accountant level. I haven't seen anyone outsource like tax planning and advisory level to Nepal or even India, because it's too risky. There's a small mistake can cause massive damage. Like, for example, you may give the wrong advice. And in Australia, there's also a thing called you need professional qualification. Right. And then you can security insurance. Yeah. So your insurance might not even cover if the advice is given by someone overseas. And also, if they are not qualified, CA or CPA, they can't even give those advices, right? So don't worry about that level of jobs for now. If you are starting your outsourcing business in Nepal, and you want to grow faster, just focus on basic bookkeeping for now, right? And my suggestion to you would be, instead of going to commercial businesses, like in accounting, outsourcing, there are two kinds of businesses. Actually, there are three kinds of businesses. There's commercial businesses where they basically do financial accounting, like any business, where they have a finance department or finance team, or even small business where they need bookkeeping. They only need financial accounting. And there is like accounting firms. Accounting firms are mainly CAs, CPAs, IPAs. They do both bookkeeping and business advisory and tax advice. And then they're like auditors. In Australia, most of the auditing is done by the Big Four, like PwC, Deloitte, and all. I think you being a small provider at the moment, I don't think you'll be able to get any business from those big providers, because they have very high requirements, high volume requirements, and they work with already established big companies. They are mainly based in India or Philippines, right? So for you, I think the best target market would be the accounting firms, because what the accounting firms can do is, they go out to commercial businesses, get the business, and then once they have those contracts in place, they can outsource the bookkeeping part or do the accounting part to you guys. So it's kind of like you're working as a subcontractor, but but from my experience when I work with commercial businesses, usually the large companies, they're not really so much worried about saving money. They just want to get the job done, and they just want to avoid your problems and headaches. And when they outsource to the company overseas, and if there's no quality or if there's any mistakes or whatever, they don't want that extra headache. Because when you're selling your services, it's always good to sell it to the ultimate decision maker or the owner of the business. Because owner of the business are always looking to make their business more efficient, more productive, and they want to reduce costs, right? So whereas with big businesses, the finance manager or the line managers, they don't care, they just want to get the business. They don't really want to save the money from the business. So it's hard to convince them. Whereas if
They're also not the ultimate decision makers. And yes, so we are also focusing with providing offshoring facilities for accounting firms because accounting firms are small businesses, right? They are small businesses having all the small businesses with their bookkeeping, taxations, and filings and everything. And accounting firms nowadays lack qualified talents in their own countries, and so they are looking for uh, team members outside. So we have been working our prospective clients that these practice owners is that we are very flexible. We can help you set up your own team. What are the requirements? If you're a bookkeeper, someone with experience in Australian accounting and Australian tax systems. So if you want that, but you want to know is that you want to set up right here. You want a team, but you want to manage it yourself. You don't want a third party to come in and between you and the communication between your team. So what we can help is we can help with just setting up a team, right? Find source talent, help, and with good talent, and also get the tech stack from the firms. So accounting firms usually have a lot of softwares that they work with. So the tech stack, and they can send in their tech stack. These are softwares that we have been using, right? So it's not just accounting software, but there are other softwares, practice management, and other payment softwares that the single accounting firm may be using. So they can send in their tech stack, and then before the team starts work with them, we can help them, train in those tech stack. We can help them train in the Australian tax. So what are the requirements? So we can help them train that, and then the team can get started, and they can work independently there. So that's one model. And what if someone wants the team to be managed as well? So we can be partner here, and so what happens there is if there are turnover in the team, so if someone wants to leave, so they do not have to go again and find a team. So we're just selling the work, and our team, someone we hire works there. But if there's a turnover, if someone leaves, then someone again comes in and fills in the role. So the work is always being done and with a quality for there. So if you want your team, your separate 100% your team that you want to manage, we can have you set up that. But if you also want to you don't want the headache of having to manage the team, see their psychology, uh, see how their taxes are being filed or not, and other stuff with the Nepali, the rules of labor regulations, then we can come in and help that as well. So that's what our business model is. That's what we're doing. So we are more into offshoring these services of accounting firms. But if someone wants to, send in, if small businesses want to send in some bookkeeping work for themselves, then we can do that as well. But we're more focused on helping accounting firms set up their offshore team, set up their offshore facilities here in Nepal.
Sure. So yeah, that's a good business model as well. Like you can have like 2, 3 different products,
Right.
like services, right? Because it's not like one size fits all. Different businesses have different requirements. Like you said, there might be some accounting firms who want to have a flow of their business offshore, where they can get done everything. I've seen such businesses as well. Like they do from bookkeeping to a CA level. That's something you can aim to become down the line. You may not be able to offer that right away, right? Because I think in Nepal there is good talent But at the same time, when it comes to senior staff, people who are already CA and all, and who have 5 6 years experience, um, they are a little bit old-fashioned, and also the communication skills I found not so great. You know, because the younger generation have great communication skills. Like because you brought up in Nepal, watching the MTV and all that. And the good thing about Nepal is like you guys have neutral accent. You don't sound like Indian. You don't sound like American in Philippines. And that's what people like about you. Because when you bring them up from Nepal, you don't have Indian accent. Whereas, people don't need to have very strong Indian accent. I'm not generalizing, most of them do. Yeah. And then people here, when they find that someone's calling from with Indian accent, they think, it's like a scam call, or, it's like someone trying to sell something,
Right.
and they don't understand them, right? So I think you have to basically have different levels of services, and selling is not about telling your customer about what you offer.
Right.
It's more about listening to what they need. So different customers will have different needs. So you ask them like about the business problem, where you are losing money, and what can be done to make your process more efficient, and then you tell them the solution. Okay, then they say, okay, I have staff here who can go to Nepal and train up the team.
Right.
Okay, let me set up a team for you in Nepal, so you can come there and you can train them up. It's just like you running your business in Australia, but they will be based in Nepal, and your cost will go down by at least about 60%. Because it's going to be that cheap. It will cost low cost of labor. If they say, I'm running a small business, I just want someone to look after my working thing. Then you tell them, okay, then you can hire one people for now, for maybe 20 hours per month. That's a bit enough, right? Moving bread Australia at the moment usually costs about $75 an hour. You can get it done in Nepal for maybe $20. Even if you pay $20 to your staff and $20 in charge to your client, you have a gross margin of $10. Whereas for higher level work, for let's say for tax returns for partnerships, companies, you can say I can provide you a fully qualified accountant for $3,000 a month. And for the client, as I said earlier, for some clients they charge $10,000. So they're getting someone for $3,000, right? So it's going to be really, really cheap for them, cost effective. So that's why I think outsourcing is going to boom. There's so much opportunity. But like in developed countries like Australia, US, even Europe, but in Europe, I think we have a language problem. But in UK, like for most businesses, outsourcing has been a necessity. It's like outsource or die, because
It's funny because I was also I contacted CPA Australia. I'm also doing CPA from CPA Australia, and regarding that, I contacted CPA Australia there, and my call was diverted because someone picked up, and I could tell that it was someone in the Philippines because they had very clear Filipino accent there, and so even CPA Australia is also seeing its phone management to Philippines. So I think outsourcing is a major differentiator for everyone because it will help them become more cost efficient, and for other more high level work they can do it themselves. And so for other works, everyone is now looking to get into outside of their home country, and because and it's not that they are just giving it cheap. Cheap means bad, right? Cheap doesn't mean bad. They are getting highly qualified people outside of their country, and uh, they can deliver for them everything, and even say more in comparison to what they could get in their home country, but also for a fraction of the cost. So I think that is a very good proposition for businesses in Australia, US, UK, and Canada, right? So I think more businesses will will find benefit of outsourcing or offshoring their operations or part of it, and I think it's a new future for developing countries like Nepal as well, who get connected uh, to opportunities without leaving their home country.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and Nepal is a sweet spot right now. It's because as here in Philippines, develop, the living style, lifestyle goes up as well. So they demand higher salaries. So I know other clients, they move their outsourcing from um Philippines to some other country, like in South Africa or in some other country, Africa, where the cost is even lower. Uh, you know, uh, a few years ago, so people like the Philippines used to cost like $2,000. Now it costs like $3,000. You know, so those countries are getting more expensive, and also in India, because India is also booming. The salary is also going up there. So these days, staff in India also don't come cheap. They also at least 3 lakh rupees salary a month. 2 lakh rupees a month is like $3,000. Uh, so those places are losing their competitive advantage.
Right.
And that's where it's an advantage for Nepal. And in Nepal, the infrastructure is getting better. There's no electric power now. There's basically 24/7, right? There's not much for people unless like in the Philippines, so there's not many Nepal abundance. And also the other thing is, the younger generation are very smart. And they have very good communication skills, right? So that's an advantage as well. And the other advantage is that since COVID, the one good thing COVID did was it made remote working normal. So even in Australia, many people are working from home these days, accountants, software developers, and all. You know, um, so if they're working from home in Australia, whether they work from like Sydney or they work from Kathmandu, doesn't make difference. Um, and the other good thing is most of the accounting records data are being put into softwares which are cloud-based. So you can simultaneously work on the same data from anywhere in the world, Like, for example, someone doing bookkeeping in Nepal could be working on the same Mayo file, while a senior accountant in Australia can also work on the same file, at the same time, right? So the distance or the location is not relevant anymore. So as long as you can train up your staff in the Australian accounting systems, the local government requirements, I think there will be no difference. So definitely this industry is going to grow. A lot of the jobs will move from India to Nepal as well, I'm sure, because just like jobs moving from Australia to India, from India it will be outsourced to Nepal, uh, because of low cost.
Yeah. So, yeah, my question was also going to be why should anyone choose Nepal and their outsourcing destination? And you cover a lot of the things there. But I also wanted to know what has been the experiences of your clients that have set up their outsourced or offshore locations here in Nepal? What has been their feedback so far?
Yeah. Like a lot of my clients at the moment, Australian clients, they're outsourced to Philippines, right? But I see that, if we go and tell them, we give them Nepal as an option,
Right.
and maybe we would tell them, like, just trying out maybe for a week, a month,
Right.
I'm sure they will move to Nepal.
Right.
Because, when it comes to staff quality, there's no difference.
Right.
Nepal also provides quality staff. And when it comes, actually, Philippines is good at marketing jobs, customer service. They don't have so many highly qualified accountants there, like India and Nepal does. So when it comes to qualification, I think Nepal might have an advantage over Philippines.
Correct.
I'm not 100% sure on this, right? But I feel so, And so the other Nepalese, like, there's a huge Nepalese population here, right, in Australia. There's about 200,000 Nepalese here, and many Nepalese work, like husbands work in accounting,
Right.
and the wives work in nursing. Because in the last 10, 20 years, the Australian government been giving PR only to accountants and nurses, right? There are a lot of like accountants who are of Nepalese background,
Right.
and some of them, they can set up the accounting firms as well. You can actually also convince them to set up office in Nepal,
Right.
because they will be more willing to the idea, right? It will give them an excuse to come back in Nepal as well.
Yeah.
And from what I see right now, a lot of my friends, they have their parents who are aging, so for them it's a big problem.
Right.
Like, their parents in Nepal are aging, someone has to look after them.
Right.
And they want to live between Australia and Nepal.
Right.
So if they have a team in Nepal, then it's going to be easier for them. Like, they'll come to Nepal, work there 6 months, come back to Australia, work there 6 months. Right. So you can target those businesses as well.
Right.
So from my experience, like, I went some really good examples. He's one of my actually, he was a candidate I placed in a job many years ago. And then he worked his way up in that account. And then he went up his own business, his own accounting. So he actually set up an outsourcing business in Nepal. And last time I spoke to him, he said he has 30 staff. And he's planning to make it 50. He was taking a new office. So that means definitely there is a market there. But his complaint to me was that it's pretty hard to get quality candidates in Nepal, because most of the candidates in Nepal, these days, they get trained up, most Russians, they want to leave Nepal, they want to go overseas for work and for studies, right? So he said that the power is very high, and that's really costing him money, because it takes time to train out people. And if you're spending already 1 year to train up someone, and they work for just 1 year, you're not getting the ROI, right? If they go overseas. However, things will change, because nowadays, even for further studies, coming to Australia is becoming more and more difficult,
I think there's a need to make a career trajectory or career was for those working for Australian firms or Australian businesses here in Nepal. So because if after a year or few years we do not see growth in their own field, because when someone who is working in the accounting industry in Nepal goes into an outsourcing firm in Nepal, they see a jump there, right, in their salary and their standard of living. But again, it tends to flatten out. So the accounting service, whoever is running those funds here in Nepal, they should also create a career trajectory for those who have been working there, who have been being trained there, to see a future here, right? So if they can see them after 2 years, this is the role that I'll be given. After 4 years, there is where I'll go. So if we can make a clear career trajectory, then there will be a better chance of retaining talent here in Nepal. And I think we can do that. There's a lot of opportunity, and we can help them see the benefits of staying here in Nepal, and also working as an accountant for the long term.
Sure.
Also, I want to return to a point where you were talking about, accountants, Nepali accountants already working in Australian businesses in Australia.
Yeah.
So, what I wanted to, compare there is that you are already using Nepali talent in Australia.
Yeah.
So, the same talent, Nepali talent is back home in Nepal.
Yes.
And you can get the same talent for a fraction of the cost. So, a person, a Nepali person, applies for a visa, takes a lot of debt and goes to Australia, and then it is hired as an accountant there. So he expects a lot more return there. But if someone is already back home with all those qualifications, but back home in the world, you have already been using those Nepali talent, but now you can use the same talent with same experience, with same knowledge, with a fraction of the cost, right? So you are saving both the employer and employee costs. The employee cost of routing himself out of Nepal and going to Australia, getting leaving their home, leaving their families, and going to Australia and will being work there. For employer also, they do not need someone to come there and work for them if they can work from home now that the world has already become remote and everything, because in accounting also the technology has come so far. It's fascinating. Sometimes you feel that you skip a whole century. So in the 20th century, the industrial age, and but in the 21st century, I think it has been 5 centuries coupled into one, because the bare example of technology and
they haven't even started using AI yet.
Right.
Once AI is implemented, things will change like drastically. I just went to an AI seminar, and they were saying that the AI is getting smarter like 1,000 times every few months.
Right.
Because so much information is being uploaded, in the AI brain,
Right.
So it's very scary, to be honest. And there will be no need for bookkeepers in the future.
Right.
I know one company who's already implemented AI bot for bookkeeping. And they are charging $25 an hour for bookkeeping. And this AI can do the whole bookkeeping for a small business within, an hour or something.
Right. Right. Yes. So there's the proliferation of AI, and I think specifically for on funds, I think now it's the time to leverage AI and be more focused on advisory, and until the AI has been leveraged to its fullest, because it is going into iterations, and it will be it cannot be trusted 100% up till now. So until that time,
Yes.
because if they are more bogged down into bookkeeping every day, if accounting folks in Australia or US, UK, if they are bogged down into menial and repetitive work, then that will be replaced by AI pretty soon. But they can use that same time
Definitely
to get trained in AI to see things where they can leverage AI and maybe go into advisory more and more, and leave the menial tasks or leave other tasks to funds, offshoring funds in Nepal, Philippines, or India. So I think there is an opportunity and also a risk there if you do not, if you are focused too much into the ongoing software business, or too much into the operations of your business, will lose the bigger picture. I think you will not be able to leverage AI and someone else we're successful in leveraging AI will run you over, and you will not have business to look after for a few years.
Yeah, well, I agree with 100% Sushil. So the key is to leverage AI, so for you also, using that unique outsourcing defense to Nepal, uh, which is more efficient because you use AI in the business, maybe you can start implementing AI chatbots and bookkeepers. So what you do is you can get jobs for your clients overseas, and then with the help of AI bot, you can find out bookkeeping within half an hour. So instead of charging the client, and let's say 1,000 a month, you can charge them 300 a month, but still your cost will be 300 a month only. So you have a bigger profit margin, right? And there will be not everyone will be able to understand AI, because not everyone's smart enough, right? So you can be that person who knows AI, who implements AI, and have that competitive advantage, and then you can save lots of money, and you can pass on that savings to your customer, and then that's how it can go faster and bigger.
Right.
So I see that happening. As you said, if you don't use
Right.
AI, you will die. But if you use AI in proper manner, you will be the next most millionaire, right? Instead of seeing it as a risk, you see it as an opportunity, and then
You just figure out the only information of AI, has both risks and also rewards, but risks to more businesses than rewards to you, right? So whoever can leverage AI fast and with better results will have more business coming to them, and others will see their businesses getting wiped out. So when we talk about Amazon or others businesses coming in the age of the internet, so the number of brick and mortar businesses, it drastically started to go down, and everything was into every business was in the cloud, right? Like when they had Amazon store, they didn't have any physical store. And the Amazons and the Walmarts of the world have leveraged to bring in more revenue to them. So the bricks and mortars have seen their businesses suffer and really had to see good businesses shut down. And so I think AI will also be that thing that will benefit a few and at the expense of a large number of businesses there. So I think keeping track of where AI is headed and how to leverage it for business of our own and also for the client, right? So that is very
huge. And one of the other benefit of AI, like for example, is a chat GPT, right? It's gonna make world more equal for everyone, especially for people like us who have English as a second language.
right.
We can use chat GPT to better our writing communication skills, This one thing is why we were lagging behind was because our English wasn't that great.
Right.
Our communication skills when it comes to communicating in English is not as good as the people in English speaking countries. But that follows the issue anymore. With the help of ChatGPT, we can also write very good English. Today. Yeah, and as you write more better and better English, your speaking skills also gets improved,
Right.
So that's why I think that's an advantage for us as well. I already asked all my staff to use ChatGPT when communicating, and similarly, you can also do the same in Nepal, use ChatGPT to communicate with the managers, and also when you're hiring accountants at a higher level, it's just a word of quality They have to do a lot of interviewing, like, identifying problems, collecting information from stakeholders. So they have to talk with the CEOs, finance managers. They have to talk to HR,
Right.
So the community skills is also very important, right? And also they have to deal with external stakeholders, like they have to deal with the ATO, the Australian Tax Office,
Right.
and the ASIC, you know. So community skills is very important, right? Then I think with AI, you can get some advantage
Right.
that has to fall.
Right. I think we have covered a lot of bases here today. We talked about your story, your journey from Nepal to Australia, and how you set up your business and how you're forcing and also using outsourcing as a means for you to leverage outsourcing to have better ROI for your own business, and also your own experience recommending your clients to set up their own outsourcing facilities outside of Australia. And also we talked about AI at the end, where AI is so important that we'll have to doing more energy into seeing AI, and maybe a little bit less like working. So that's a very popular saying: do not work in your business, work on your business. Okay. I think with the AI also, we working on the business would mean working on AI and how to leverage it, and working in the business will be going into the everyday operations of the business. We have an option to send your operations to a foreign country with a lot of talent, but also for a fraction of cost there, and you will focus more on how you can leverage AI than you leverage technology, because there has been a very lot of proliferation of AI into accounting. So practice management softwares have been using AI. Xero now uses AI as to support his clients as well, also as a support as well as integrating in the transactions. So it has been using for listed or bad reconciliation. It can easily identify transactions, and so it becomes the bank reconciliation becomes very easy there. Identifying when that's an invoices also uses image recognitions and a bit of AI there. So I think AI will be
Yeah, I
Right.
saw one software demo recently, and they were saying that, you don't have even have the laser entry anymore. You just feed all the invoices into a system, and right here where it says feed them up with, and the contents of the invoice,
right.
and the laser entry on it. How cool is that?
So they have the accounting firms and other businesses that will have to look into how to address that, and also maybe use outsourcing talent for some of the work. I think for today we have covered a lot of things, and for the viewers to think about as well. For I think some of the false are looking to uh, start their own outsourcing business, have some questionable ideas from here, and also accounting false based in Australia or other countries. Uh, you know, they can also see Nepal as a great alternative to Philippines or India, because many of the work that has been being sent to India ultimately ends up in Nepal as well. So, and
Yeah, I know. A lot of Indian companies are subcontracting to Nepal
right,
anyway, right?
right,
So because that's happening because Nepal doesn't have a lot of smart people who can go and build the business themselves.
right, right,
So they have to make the businesses in India to outsource their business to them, and then they only make a fraction of the profit.
right.
Whereas smart people like you, and If we can work together, maybe I can help you in the process as well. We can go and get the business directly from the source,
Right.
So we have a bigger profit margin, It's a win-win for everyone.
Right.
Because we can provide them a cheaper alternative, better staff, more reliable, more hungry, more driven, and we reduce the cost. At the same time, we increase our profit margin,
Right.
And we have a bigger profit margin, then we can pay better to our staff as well.
Right.
And as you said earlier, it's very important to give your staff the clear aspiration, the clear goal trajectory, right?
Right.
So it's always best to start them at a lower point, entry point, and then give them more and more responsibility, empower them,
Right.
and then increase the salary. So one day they will become a qualified accountant with the Austrian accounting knowledge,
Right.
And they will be earning like 2-3 lakhs in Nepal a month.
Right.
If you should make like 3 lakhs a month, why do you have to go overseas?
Right.
It's more than enough in Nepal.
Right.
Especially if you're living with your parents, you don't have to pay the rent.
Right.
Because especially lots of cases, just coming to Australia or US is not the ticket to success or a better life. Actually, the PR of Australia, I see it more as a trap, So I say this because if you are living with your parents in Nepal and you have a good job,
Right.
you get to look after your parents, which is your duty. And the other thing is, the benefit is you don't have to pay the rent, right? And you make 3 lakh rupees a month. Almost all of 3 lakhs is in disposable income until you have kids. And then once you have kids, you have to spend over 1 lakh on the tuition fees. Still, you got 2 lakhs left to have fun, right? Whereas if you come to Nepal, to Australia, and you get your PR, the possible when you come as a student, like you have to pay so much in tuition fees,
Right.
It's like $100,000 for the bachelor's year, right? You spend years paying off that loan back home,
Right.
And then you get your PR, and then once you get PR, that's not the end of the story. Like the struggle starts when you get the PR.
Right.
So you have to buy a house, and in Sydney at the moment, average house costs $1.5 million.
Right.
So for you,
That's a lot.
total, let's say $1.3 million.
Right.
And the current interest rate, you'll be paying $6,000 per month in mortgage, Then if you earn like you say $8,000, if you're lucky, you're lucky people will get $8,000. Most we get on is $7,000, $6,000.
Right.
So most of your salary will go for mortgage.
Right.
So unless you have full income, if your wife is earning a similar amount, your life will be like hell,
Right.
Just every year working just to pay a mortgage. And the mortgage will be for 30 years,
Right.
Right. Unless you are really, really hardworking, you get 2 jobs, you're not going to have a very comfortable life.
Right.
And if you have 2 jobs, definitely you don't have to life because you've been going more than that.
Right.
Right. So I encourage all young people to stay in Nepal, if possible, start up your own business like you're doing, get a job like in software development, accounting, in outsourcing,
Right.
where you can get higher, and if you have a high pay, you also pay higher tax the country as well, and the good thing is that the Western countries, the population is aging,
Right.
people are getting older and older, not many young people here, so it's going to be harder for them to find junior staff, so they'll have no option but to send jobs overseas.
Right.
The other thing is the local Australians, and even in the US and UK, I think it's a similar thing. They don't want to work in maths or science or accounting because they feel that those jobs are boring,
Right.
It's too like repetitive, They want to get into more like marketing, arts, or some other professions where they can work with people, not even others, or technology. So there will always be a shortage of accountants and IT professionals in overseas countries,
Right.
and that's why they will have no choice but to send jobs offshore. And that's a big opportunity for countries like Nepal.
Right.
And Nepal is in the best place right now, take advantage of this opportunity, and this industry will grow and grow.
Right.
I don't think it will die out.
Right.
So what we need to do now is have that growth mentality, be positive,
Right.
and be an entrepreneur. You're not an accountant.
Right.
If you just, like, there's a saying that for accountant, they say it's not what you make, it's how much you save.
Right.
Accountants are always into saving money.
Right.
But if you want to grow your business, you gotta believe in you have to spend money to make money.
Right.
So you gotta spend the money, you gotta do marketing.
Right.
And that's how you grow your business.
Right.
Right. So my advice to you and the people who are getting into outsourcing is that you go to all these employers directly, don't depend on subcontracting.
Right.
And basically you tell the potential clients that you don't have an assistant if you want to grow your business.
Right.
Like you said earlier, you gotta work on the business, not in the business.
Right.
They're saying that if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant.
Right.
Right. So if you are an accountant, you should be making $100 an hour,
Right.
not like $5 an hour. Because the jobs that you're doing, like bookkeeping, it can be done at $5 an hour at Nepal, right?
Right.
So do you want to be making $100 an hour, or you want to be making $5 an hour?
Right.
Choice is simple.
Right.
Make $100 an hour. So send the $5 per hour to Nepal.
Right.
Right? It's not rocket science, common sense.
Sorry.
And there will be some employers who will say that they want to stay in the comfort zone.
Right.
They don't want to change. So they are the ones who's going to lose out. A lot of them are already getting old. They will retire one day soon. But the younger ones who still have desire to grow,
Right.
they will listen to you. They will say, "Why not? Like, let's try it out." My staff right now is working from some remote area in Australia anyway.
Right.
So it's no different for me if I have someone working in Nepal.
Right.
We have technology to manage them, to control them, and check what they are doing.
Right.
And you can implement some of these things in your work process as well.
Right.
Because these days you can get so many softwares to monitor your staff.
Right.
And then you give access to your clients through those softwares. So they know what their staff is doing in Nepal. Anytime.
Right.
They can just log into the portal and they see how much work they've done, how much, how many, projects they've completed. So there's no difference
Right.
whether they work here or Australia.
Right.
Okay. So one of the ways to win over your customer is to understand the problem and give them the solution and minimize your risk.
Right.
Because everyone wants to minimize the risk. They will be new things because it's risky.
Right.
It's way to a restaurant. Like, for example, if you like momos, one spot, like I say, you like Everest Momo,
Right.
you always go back to Everest Momo.
Right.
Because there's no risk. Either Everest Momo will be the best.
Right.
Right? And same in business as well.
Right.
They don't want to do things that are risky.
Right.
So, all of you that customer who goes to Everest Momo, because you're running Annapurna Momo,
Right.
you have to tell that customer that Annapurna Momo is better than Everest Momo.
Right.
So they can let you try the Momo for free.
They're right.
Something like that. You apply the same thing in your company as well. You do a free trial.
Right. Sweet in the deal. Right. As this daily.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes you have to work for even.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's a saying, you have to take a step backward to go forward. Sometimes you have to take a
Right.
loss as well in business for a long-term gain. Because I know most economists are too much focused on profitability, but you can't be profitable for the one.
Okay, Ryan. So we have actually reached the end of our podcast today. But before you go, I think because the work you are doing in Australia, being a businesses, employers, and also migrant workers in Australia, I think some of them would like to connect with you and maybe help in getting employed in their own career path in your own field of study. So, and also for businesses who want to, hire those individuals, maybe be it in Australia or be it in other countries, especially in Nepal, how do they get connected with you?
Right. You can find me on LinkedIn. For Ryan Shrestha. I've got quite a bit of followers there, about almost 7,000. Uh, so I don't get a lot of messages, but I try and respond to everyone if it's relevant. Or you can have access to my digital card, which is just ryanshrestha.com. You can just go at ryanshrestha.com. Then you will have access to all my contact details.
So thank you very much. It has been a very great experience talking to you. It was very nice of you to share your experience and also your suggestions and your learnings. Thank you very much for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushil. Thanks for the opportunity. I had fun talking to you. And I'm sure our discussion was quite insightful. At least few of us would benefit, I guess. Right. Anyway, keep in touch. All the best.
Thank you.